How do you make money while living off the grid? That's what we're going to discuss today on the drive home. For the majority of people living off the grid, now we're talking strictly off the utility grid, they have a regular job, regular 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, or whatever. And they commute back and forth to work just like anybody else. Now, if you're living off the grid and working towards self-sufficiency, that's when you got to start thinking about things like that. Eventually, that's where I want to be. I want to make my own money, be my own boss, or sell stuff, just be able to supply my own income. So let's talk about some options. In reality, the big thing you need to think about as far as making money is multiple streams of income. Unless you're going to be a farmer and you have 100 acres of crops and you're going to just sell all of that, live off of it, or even rent off your property, and rent out your property, you're not going to be making enough off of just one thing to pay the bills and survive. Most likely. There are chances that you can, but so you got to think of multiple streams of income. So you got to think of, maybe you're going to sell eggs, you're going to go to a farmer's market, sell a bunch of vegetables, fruit. You're going to sell, maybe you sell poultry, hatch a bunch of chicks, and then, sell chickens. Raise and sell goats, goat meat, goat cheese, goat milk, different crops, of course. You can grow berries, stuff like that, make jams, can things, make soap. But you can't just, typically, you can't just stick with one thing. Because what if one thing just happens to fall out for some reason, one reason or another? Say you're selling soaps. For one reason or another, the sales of soaps just plummet one month. You go from making, say $5,000 to $1,000. All of a sudden you're cold and hungry. You can't buy propane or fuel or something like that. So you got to think of multiple streams of income. So just in case one thing falls through, you have a few others to back it up. Like for me, I'm wanting to sell a few different types of crops. I'd like to try and make soaps. I know the market's pretty well flooded with different soap making, so I'm just gonna see where that goes. If it doesn't work out, then I'll have a bunch of soap for myself to use. And grow things that you don't typically find in a regular farmer's market. More like odd tomatoes. There's I wish I could think of the name. I just looked it up the other day. There's a tomato that's actually kind of purplish or bluish. I think that'd be neat. Another one that's kind of the shape of a pepper. I'm gonna start growing some kind of stuff like that. I'm gonna start growing stuff like that next year. Loofah squash. You can harvest those things young, and apparently they're pretty good to eat, or you can let them mature, dry out, and sell them as sponges. You go to the store, you see they call it a natural sponge or organic sponge. It's a loofah plant. Wouldn't mind trying, selling goat cheese, goat meat. We're gonna have goats. Maybe rabbits. I don't know if we're gonna do rabbits yet. Probably won't do much in the way of eggs or something. YouTube, obviously, I'm trying to get this going. I made a whopping $20 or so in the past 2 years. But you can also, you know, in somebody else's case, you know, I'm not very good at crafts, but a lot of people do wood burning. I belong to a Facebook group where one of the guys does carvings, or he carves the signs for other people's homesteads and sells them. I'm not near good enough to do anything like that. They look gorgeous. You know, stuff like that. You can be a consultant for different things. You know, I'm trying to learn as much as I can about solar and wind power. You know, maybe I can help people and, you know, just charge a small fee for consulting. You know, anything like that. But just, it's always smart to have a diversified income. Obviously, you have to make enough money not only to, you know, pay the bills, eat, but you also got to think of, you know, like health insurance, stuff like that. Either that or, you know, like a really good savings account if you don't do health insurance. But anyways, you know, what are the things that you guys do? What are the things that you do for income on your homestead? Do you have a job? Do you sell something? Do you make something? Go ahead and leave it down in the comments. Let me know. And of course, if you have any questions, go ahead and put them down in the comment section, and get to answering some of those questions. And until next time, keep kicking up dust. For Shizzle.